In what ways could you kind of reflect on this class, the last class that experienced that horrible day? What sort of reflection can you offer to that class?
Boy, there's so many things. I think there's just a ton of lessons, that have been learned, and this class has really kind of been a role model, for not just other students, but for adults, for the staff, for their parents, for the community. You think about it, you come in as a freshman and you're involved in a school shooting incident within just a couple of weeks of the school year. You have to endure that right through your high school career. For a lot of the kids, you're coming right back to the scene, every day. That's difficult.
Mm-hmm.
That's heartbreaking for kids and for staff. And yet they've never let it push them down, right, Amanda? They've just always looked for the good in things. They've looked for the glass being half full, not half empty. They could have made a lot of excuses. They could have given you all the reasons why they weren't going to have a great high school experience, and yet they've persevered. And then your junior year, getting hit with COVID, in March, and the school shuts down, and you have to go home. You have to learn online, and then you don't even get to start your senior year. What an experience that they've been through. And, our hope, and at least what they've shown us, is they're going to be able to look back on it and say, man, this was tough. This was really difficult. I chose to be better, not bitter, because of what happened to me during my high school experience. And I think you're going to see them as better parents and as better friends, as better leaders, as better teachers and doctors and people out in the workforce. So I think we're just seeing the best of what you can get out of a class. And this class has been through a lot. And I think you're going to see even better things from this class moving forward. And hopefully they can look back on it and say, yeah, it was tough and I learned a lot, but I chose to be better and not bitter about my experience.
Randy, where do you think that perseverance, that positivity that these students have had over the years, where do you think that's come from?
I think it's a combination, Amanda, of things. It's a combination of their parents and the community, and the staff support that they've got. A lot of our high school students, like many high school students, are involved in their activities, right? It could be band or choir or athletics. Maybe it's FBLA or your conservation club. Maybe it's TRAP or FFA. Whatever your activities are, I think that's been a big calling for our kids. And I think that's that opportunity, right, that they've been able to connect. They've had as close to a normal last several months than they've had in quite a while. And I think we've seen them bounce back. We've seen their smile. We've seen their spirit. We've seen the joy come back for them. Watching last night a basketball game with our seniors, or last week the senior awards, or even yesterday when they got their yearbooks. There was a lot of laughter. There was a lot of joy. There were a lot of smiles. And, boy, I'll tell you, what an example for all of us as adults to learn from students that started as 14, as freshmen or 15, and what they've done the last 4 years. It's something we're never going to forget.
Yeah, definitely. Pretty remarkable, just the strength, not only in the students, but the community in the aftermath. I wonder, is there some level of disappointment that there is no sense of closure with the trial being pushed out till next year?
Oh, absolutely. Right. It's been changed, 3 or 4 times. I think it's super disappointing. It's unnecessary that the trial has been pushed back that far. And, it is a little bit of a cloud that hangs over you, because you've got to get some closure. And it's the reality of the situation. And, these kids should not have experienced what they've experienced. They can't change it. And it will be the final piece, Amanda. It's got to take place. And when it does, I think there will be some great closure for people on all kinds of different levels. You wished it would have taken place this year and been done, so these seniors could have used graduation as that ending spot for them, kind of for the next step of their life. But like they've dealt with everything else over the course of the last 4 years, they're going to work through this one. They're going to figure out how to persevere through another difficulty. And the beauty of this class is they're going to do it together. They're going to lean on each other. They're going to support each other. And they're going to come stronger out on the other end of it. So it's got to get done, and we'll just keep our positive mojo until it's finished.
Well, thank you so much, Randy, for making the time. Is there anything else that you'd like to add on that note that I didn't ask you?
No, that's great. Just super proud of these kids and excited for graduation and excited to see the smiles on their faces tomorrow and their families. And it's going to be a great day for Freeman.